It's been 48 hours since Olivia Rodrigo dropped her third album, You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love, and once again, our girl did not disappoint. I've been a fan of Olivia Rodrigo since day one because she captures the experience of girlhood and womanhood so beautifully. But now that I'm a girl mom, her music hits completely differently. Olivia Rodrigo challenges the patriarchy with every single song. And that's exactly who I want my daughter to be paying attention to. If you're new here, I'm Kirsten. I'm a social justice educator and mom of an almost 2-year-old. And this is a space where we collectively learn how to consciously love ourselves and our little ones. And today I'm breaking down You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love and explaining why this album is part of my daughter's homeschool curriculum. The tone of this album feels so different from the last two, yet it feels so true to Olivia because she captures romantic love as a multifaceted experience, which is rarely how love is portrayed. In a world that paints love as black and white, Olivia's songs remain in the gray. Drop Dead. This is a song about how unbelievable love is. And when I say unbelievable, I mean the incredible high, but also the fact that you can't believe that this is real. Olivia captures the feeling that a lot of girls and women experience when in relationships with boys and men, where they're almost too afraid to embrace the highs because they're already anticipating the lows. Even though the song is about falling in love, Olivia chooses to express this love with lyrics like, I might drop dead, or I might throw up, or punch to the gut, which suggests that this is a partially painful experience because of her hesitance to believe that this is real. When my daughter listens to this song, I hope that she learns that two truths can exist at the same time. Experiences of love are complicated because we're human beings and human beings are multifaceted. Love doesn't need to be packaged neatly for it to be real. Stupid song. This next song is about being wholeheartedly love sick. Here, Olivia describes loss of control with lyrics like, I'm a car speeding down the boulevard without a brake. Vulnerability with, I'm a heart made of wax and I'm melting in the sun. And fragility with, I'm a thread on your shirt coming undone. I love how unapologetically in love Olivia is in this song because I feel like as girls and women, we're taught to be embarrassed about how obsessive we can get when we're falling for someone. But here, Olivia is giving us permission to feel the full spectrum of infatuation, to allow ourselves to be completely consumed by new relationship energy. Life is so hard. We deserve to feel euphoria. When my daughter listens to this song, I hope she feels empowered to embrace her lover girl era. Honeybee. This is a song about being so in love in a relationship that you never want it to end. And I hope I never see what your face looks like going. A face I swear I could spend my whole life knowing. Those lyrics are so powerful to me. They actually touch on what Olivia was alluding to in Drop Dead, where she's so happy, but a part of her is thinking about the possibility of them ending. I really appreciate that despite that, Olivia doesn't shy away from hope in this song. Even if she's worried that the relationship might end, she's choosing to be hopeful, which is an incredibly difficult thing to do. It is so much easier to fixate on worst case scenarios. When my daughter listens to the song, I hope she believes that hope is worth holding on to, even when we live in a hopeless world. Maggots for brains. This song is about how codependency can leave a person unable to function without their partner. In this song is when I feel like Olivia is starting to add more complex layers to the tone of the album, specifically through the irony that is so present throughout this song. In Stupid Song, she centered the love of lovesickness And I feel like in Maggots for Brains, she's centering the sickness of love sickness. She's describing her experience of love using words like zombie and rotten and moldy, which feel so gross. And I wonder if that's what she's hinting at, that being codependent on your partner can be repulsive. I really appreciate her painting love sickness in this way because it captures the ways girls and women are taught to exist for the boys and men in their lives, as though their personhood is irrelevant on its own. And so often when girls and women are in relationships with boys and men, they lose the parts of themselves that existed before the relationship. When my daughter listens to this song, I hope she receives it as a cautionary tale that there is always room for your whole self in a relationship. Love is meant to add to your life, not take you away from yourself. You and me equals heart. This song captures the optimism you feel about a future with a romantic partner. It became so apparent by the time I got to this track that every single song is actually building off of the last one. As usual, Olivia Rodrigo is giving us a body of work. You and Me equals Heart is actually returning to some of those themes that were present in Honeybee. I love that Olivia Rodrigo centers naivety in this song because it really speaks to the experience of girlhood. That feeling of wanting something to be true so badly that you're willing to ignore anything that tells you otherwise. And you're so young that you can afford to not know better. Olivia fills this song with lyrics like, I know that everybody changes, but I hope that we don't. And they say modern love is a cruel endeavor, and to that I say, fuck it, whatever. I especially love that she uses the practice of carving you and me equals heart forever to speak to the nostalgia that is so present in this song, because that practice is such a sweet experience of girlhood that so many of us really do resonate with. And I think it's so funny that she includes the lyrics, all my ex-boyfriends have heard these lines. Let's get married when we're 25, but I like you better by a million times. Because speaking as a lover girl, that is literally how we move through relationships. You just convince yourself that every single relationship is the right one. When my daughter listens to this song, I hope she gives herself permission to be naive, to believe that she can beat the odds, to trust that she can see something that others don't, to defy limitations and disrupt the status quo. My Way. This song addresses a girl who's trying to compete with Olivia for her boyfriend. I thought this was a really interesting choice for the album, but also for Olivia, because I think this might be the first song where Olivia is calling out another girl. Olivia is such a girl's girl, and I wonder if she was worried about how this song might be perceived. But that's why I'm so glad she decided to write this song. It's giving heat of the moment, and I love that for Olivia. At one point, she literally says, I win. Because sometimes you're feeling angry and spiteful and you just need to express yourself. And just because you're feeling angry and spiteful towards another girl doesn't mean you're any less of a girl's girl. It just means you're human. Olivia is consistently trying to invite her listeners to make space for the ugly emotions that girls and women are not allowed to have. And this song is no different. When my daughter listens to this song, I hope she feels like she is allowed to have ugly emotions instead of bottling them up just because she's worried about how the world might receive those. Purple. This is about the ways that you and your partners can merge to create a new world that is just yours. This song is so sonically and metaphorically beautiful, but there's an undertone of sadness creeping in that to me foreshadows that this is a turning point of the album. In the beginning of the song, Olivia uses words like merge and intersect to describe the two worlds colliding. And on the surface, that is the power of an equal relationship where both people bring something to the table. But then the tone of the song changes with lyrics later on, like we fight over who I'm hanging out with, and it's a small world when it can only revolve around us two. And it's crazy I had big dreams till I tied myself to you. I really appreciate Olivia's vision with this song, expressing the full spectrum of a romantic entanglement, which is especially important for girls and women navigating the expectation to revolve their lives around boys and men instead of pursuing their own dreams. When my daughter listens to this song, I hope she feels inspired to think critically about the relationships in her life, to reflect on which parts might be serving her and which parts might not. The Cure. This song is about accepting that a romantic partner cannot heal our insecurities. The desperation present throughout this song is so powerful to me, especially when she hits that bridge. I feel like this song captures so perfectly the longing that so many girls and women have for the boys and men in their lives to heal them. Because let's be real, the world sows so many seeds of insecurity throughout our experience of girlhood and womanhood, and that is so exhausting. So to believe in this possibility that boys and men can come in and save us, that is so tempting. Especially in a world that was created for boys and men. Like they must have some kind of cheat code. The acceptance that Olivia embodies in this song feels like a transition from girlhood to womanhood. And the rest of this album does embody an increasing sense of maturity. When my daughter listens to this song, I hope she is affirmed that we really are the only ones that can save us. We cannot, unfortunately, sidestep the inner work. Begged. This song is about the heartbreak of having to beg for what you want and need in a relationship. To me, this might be the most relatable song on this album. If I had $1 for every single time a woman came up to me and told me that they just wanted their male partner to love and care for them without being asked to, while I recognize it's important to name your needs, I don't feel like men are expected to name their needs the way women are expected to name our needs. Because women are socialized to be considerate of every single person in the world. So being in a relationship with a man who hasn't been socialized to be considerate can really suck. You just want to be loved and cared for the way you're loving and caring for this person. I just feel so seen by this song, and I know so many other women do too. When my daughter listens to this song, I hope she understands that a person will show up for you if they really want to, even if you don't ask. What's wrong with me? This song is about the mental and emotional toll you experience when you realize a relationship isn't working anymore. This song made me want to give every single girl who's ever cried in my arms over a boy a big hug. I love the name of the song because I feel like it reclaims the question, what's wrong with me? Which is a question a girl asks herself and her friends every single time she starts to feel like a relationship isn't working. I also love that Olivia addresses the connection between physical and emotional mental health in this song. When your heart and mind are under duress, the trauma extends to your body. Staying in a relationship that isn't good for you can have serious negative impacts on your whole self. When my daughter listens to this song, I hope she is guided to listen to her body and trust her intuition when making decisions about what's right for her. Less. This would not be an Olivia Rodrigo album without a gut-wrenching ballad. And Less, it really goes there. Less is essentially about not wanting to break up even though you're heartbroken. If loving me means letting go and wishing me the best, then I guess I wish you loved me less. This line is so bittersweet to me. I'm so glad Olivia has found someone who loves her enough to let her go because that's what's best for her. And I hate that this relationship is not working out for her, especially because she really wants it to work. This is honestly such a painful reality as you grow up, learning that you could love someone so much and you can want a relationship to work so bad, but sometimes love isn't enough and sometimes a person isn't right, and those are not things you can control, and that sucks. When my daughter listens to this song, I hope she realizes that sometimes what you want and what's good for you is not always the same thing. Expectations. This is Olivia Rodrigo's post-breakup healing anthem. In this song, Olivia really does capture that experience of women rediscovering themselves and reconnecting with themselves after a breakup. Specifically, the optimism and confidence we feel as we reflect on our relationships with new perspectives. I love that Olivia Rodrigo is still embracing her open heart in this song, instead of shying away from vulnerability because of the fear of future heartbreak. When my daughter listens to this song, I hope she believes that relationships can leave us with beautiful lessons, even if they end, even when they hurt. And I hope she remembers that regardless of whatever relationships she has with others, she will always have a relationship with herself. Cigarette Smoke, the final song of this album. This song is about the residue that lingers after a relationship that is no longer. There is this one line in this song that really spoke to me. Give me back my time and I will give you back your heart. Oh, so powerful. I feel like after a relationship has ended, we often wonder if we wasted time on that person, especially women in relationships with men, because so much of our relationship is spent waiting for them to catch up, waiting for them to learn how to love. And I really appreciate the way Olivia reclaims that in this song by asserting that she might have lost time, but he lost his heart. And reconnecting with a heart is way more difficult than making up for lost time. So, sucks to suck, Olivia Rodrigo's ex. When my daughter listens to this song, I hope she makes space for the thoughts and feelings that arise after a relationship has ended. Life isn't so clear-cut, and I don't want her to feel like the end of a chapter needs to be a linear process. And that brings us to the end of the album. Thank you so much for sticking with me as I break down all the songs. I will now be spending the next few months listening to this album on repeat. I hope you will too. And if any of you are interested in my homeschooling journey with my daughter, you can check these videos out next. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.